Hello friends, on company law we have to discuss a concept called as buyback of shares. Buyback of shares. It is also called as buyback of company's own shares. Now let us understand the meaning of it. So it says it means the act of purchasing company's own shares or other specified securities under Section 68 of Companies Act of 2013 has laid down purchase of its own shares or other securities. So when company is purchasing its own shares, you can also see it in many of the case companies, real practical world. Many companies have purchased their own shares. It's called as buyback of shares. So company purchases it from the market. So this exercise is called as buyback of shares. So they purchase it from outside public ಅಥವಾ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಹತ್ರ ಬೇರೆಯವರ ಹತ್ರ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಅವರು ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Now there are certain restrictions or rules or provisions with regard to 2013 in regard to buyback of company's own shares. So what are the what is that sections we will understand or provisions. So company is empowered to buy back its own shares only out of following sources, andre only out of free reserves. So reserves, all of you know the past profits of the company. So when they have good amount of reserve, they can purchase their own shares. And then from the securities premium, all of you know when company is doing good, company share can be issued at a premium, so which is higher than the par value or face value. So that amount they can purchase this, and the proceeds of issue of any shares or other specified security. So employee stock option or other securities, they can also buy back the shares. Okay, so proceeds of issue from any other shares. So these are the only sources they have to do it from the buyback of shares. Okay, only sources for buyback of shares. Now next. So as per 68 of Companies 2013, no company shall purchase its own shares unless it fulfills the following conditions. So what are the conditions we will see? So the conditions, number one is it is authorized by articles of association. That is, buyback of the shares is authorized by articles of association. All of you know there is articles of association of the company which acts as a rules document or document for the company, which contains lot of rules and regulations. So in that it should be authorized. Second, special resolution has to be passed at the general meeting of the company authorizing the buyback. So buyback has to be authorized by the special resolution at the general meeting of the company. Okay, so this has to be done. However, this will not apply where the buyback is less than 10% of the total paid up capital and the free reserves of the company. If it is 10% or less than that, then board of directors resolution is more than sufficient. Now if the buyback is 25% or less of the aggregate paid up capital or free reserves of the company, then however in respect of the buyback of shares any financial year, this reference to 25% shall be constant with respect to the total paid up capital upon the financial year. Okay, so this is another rule they have made. And now we will move on with this. So ratio of aggregate of secured and unsecured debt owned by the company after buyback is not more than twice of the paid up capital and free reserve. So ratio, all of you know, secured and unsecured debt and buyback of the shares not more than twice of the paid back of the company. So that is very important. So all the shares and other specified securities for buyback are fully paid up. So second one is it should be fully paid up. Nodi illi untu all the shares are adu buyback idu maduvaga fully paid up. So buyback of the shares other securities listed in the recognized stock exchange with the regulations of ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಸೆಬಿ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟೀಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. So there is SEBI to control the entire market. All of you know share market. They control the entire share market. Now there this thing has to be done. Okay. There if it is listed in the stock market, the buyback of the shares, that shares, if it is listed, then they have to follow that rules and regulations of SEBI. Then buyback in respect of shares other than those specified not be done. And then there is also full disclosure of material facts. So when buyback takes place, they have to do full material disclosure has to be done, material facts disclosure, and the necessity of the buyback, why they are doing necessity, that buyback, that has to be explained necessity, and class of the shares intended to be purchased also is to be done, amount involved in buyback, and time limit for the completion of buyback is also specified. Okay, so these are some of the conditions which we can do it. So there is also some other information like open market or from existing shareholders. That is the company decision to do this what is that buyback of the shares. So overall we can say that buyback of the shares is a concept where company purchases its own shares, and that is called as buyback. Now this can be purchased from existing shareholders, or it can be purchased from the open market, or it can be purchased from the employees also. So usually sometimes employees are given shares, so that can be also purchased. So this is the way buyback of shares takes place. And many of the companies you can observe in the stock market or information, they buy their shares sometimes. So they when they have lot of reserves and profits, they will be buying their own shares. So that is called as buyback of shares. So this is one more concept in company law. Hope you will understand this particular concept. Let us discuss this in the online class. Thank you.